If you're out there trying to start your small business, there's a lot of decisions you're going to have to make in the beginning. And a lot of those decisions have to do with your branding. The brand name, the brand colors, the design, the website, the packaging. It's overwhelming. And we know that. Today, I'm sitting here with my friends at MANAKIND to tell you that, you know what, you're not alone. And they've been kind enough and generous enough with their time to meet with me today and talk about how they got to make that such an amazing brand. Coming up. Hamza here with Brand New Dreams. On this channel, we talk everything branding for small businesses. And today I'm sitting here with Ricky, one of the co-founders of MANAKIND. How are you, Ricky?
I'm doing well. I feel very grateful that you're here and just really excited to dive into the questions that you have. I know they're thoughtful. I know it's going to provide a lot of value to your audience, and so ready to get into it.
Nice. Yeah, I know I got some questions ready just because I know you guys are busy. So let's get to the chase. So tell me a little bit about your business and why you guys started this business.
Yeah, so MANAKIND is a sustainable lifestyle company. We are all about getting eco-friendly products to our people to help minimize plastic pollution in our oceans and landfill. And with each purchase, we donate to our charities as well. So that's the kind part of MANAKIND. And we really got into this because we just started to become a little bit more aware of how much we were contributing to the plastic and just kind of waste in general. So we started this company knowing that we were a part of the problem and we wanted to offer a solution. We got back, we started doing this late 2018 is when we really started to get the ball rolling with this. And then we didn't come up with the official name brand MANAKIND until March 28, 2019.
2019.
Yep.
So tell me about that process, the name, how did you guys come up with the name, and maybe what are the names that didn't make it to the cut?
Yeah, so I do have a business partner. Can't see him on camera right now, but
she's right there.
Yeah, she is behind the scenes. She's always observing, very detail oriented. But we had a vision in mind, and as we were saying earlier off camera, we're not the most creative people, and so we could see it in our mind and we could talk about it, but it was really hard to get it on paper, to get it in a logo, and that was quite the process. That just getting a logo was 3 to 4 months. Research every single day, hours on hours, trying to figure out how to do this. And to those who can figure it out quicker, that's awesome.
Yeah,
for those that might have more of a creative mind, but I also don't want people who might be listening to this to be discouraged by that.
Yeah.
And maybe it provides a little bit of hope too. So it's if they know that it took us a long time to do it, then they don't have to feel like they're an oddball or the one sitting out, or it's not for them. But so we were thinking of names, and one of the first ones that came to mind was Pono.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just thought it sounded cool.
But it has a meaning too. The most important part to me was making sure that our brand was unique, but it also needed to signify everything I wanted it to.
Yeah. And
words here in the English language, they don't do the best always at in-depth feeling of something. A lot of other cultures have really cool words that describe a feeling in depth, very specifically. They'll be the smell after rain. They'll have a word for that. We don't. We say the smell after rain, or something. So Pono was a word that I looked up, and I really I was looking up words every day, all day, for months, and being does this bring everything into the brand I want it to? And a lot of times it was no. I liked Pono. That was taken in something else. As I'm sure know, you have to research, is this name taken? Is it trademarked? Does another brand have it? So that's when we came up with Mana, and Mana has a lot of different meanings in all different cultures that we just really admire and love. So
yeah, Typically, I want to tell people like, you know, when they tell me like the alternatives, I want to tell them like, well, I'm glad you picked like, you know, and I love MANAKIND and name, but I also love the other name too. But that just tells me that you guys are looking not just for like a name, you're looking for something that's going to connect with people on an emotional level, because
Absolutely.
that name really is like an emotional, like, you know, like there's like a feeling behind it. So, and that's what connects with people. And sometimes they connect with it and they don't know why they feel connected to that name. I got connected with this name. That's why I'm doing this interview. I love your name.
I love that. See,
Thank
so
you.
then you're like a prime example of what we wanted to accomplish with our name, with our brand.
Yeah.
And so just to get into a little bit more detail, and I think Lacey was getting there. MANAKIND, so we talked about the kind part, right? That's with us donating with our purchases and being cause oriented. Mana, it's in multiple different cultures. It's very prominent in Hawaiian culture, and so if I was going to describe it in short, it's really hard to bring justice to this word because it just means so much. So it's going to like good vibes or bad vibes, or good energy, bad energy. So, you know, you could be hanging out with someone or meet someone, it's just like, oh, their energy was kind of off, or they had bad vibes, or they had really good vibes, like really positive energy. So Mana is like that. It's kind of like who you are as a person, how you carry yourself, like your integrity, and like your ability to serve others and bring kindness and take care of the planet. So Hawaiian culture is very, they have a very intimate relationship with Earth, and they do a very good job of making sure they pay the respect to the planet that takes care of us, right? So, and in Japanese culture, it's like a love for the ocean, right? So that's what we're trying to do. There's, you know, we're trying to minimize the plastic pollution. And a biblical reference, it's it means like heavenly bread.
Bread of heaven.
Yeah, bread of heaven. So it just like incorporates so many different like diverse groups and backgrounds, and that's something that's very important to us, is being an inclusive brand. So everybody feels like they can buy into like what we're offering. Like this isn't just for
100%.
A select group of people. Like this is for everybody.
Yeah, and I love like that you guys like there's thinking about this, and I guess this weaves into my question. Is like you guys did it. I'm assuming you did it yourself. You didn't hire a branding agency, right?
We did not hire a branding agency.
So that's the other thing that I want to tell other people too, like while they're watching this video, is that there's like sometimes there's certain work and certain like emotional connection that you need to have when you're coming up with like a name that you there's professionals out there, and I respect what they do, but you know, like you were not able to, I don't think you would have been able to get that with some you know what I mean, like corporate things and like presentations.
That's exactly why we didn't. That's why we made that decision from what you just said, because in the beginning we had people that were really interested in what we were doing and wanted to join, and then people kind of get pushy in the direction they think you should go and what's more profitable and different names they want to do. And it's really important to both of us, and we just didn't want that pressure. Yeah, we could have been probably more far along and more successful at this point, but I'm really happy with the decision we made not to. Another thing I just want to throw in there, because I want to make sure we're very respectful of all the different cultures with that word. In Hawaiian culture, mana, they also believe that not only we as people carry mana, either good mana or bad mana, they also believe like the ocean, the mountains, all of nature has mana, an energy that it puts out. So I just want that included, because it is such a sacred word in that culture, and I really want to do it justice. And like in New Zealand as well, they say mana as someone who holds high moral integrity, like you're a good person, you're trying to do the right thing. So
that's so beautiful.
I just wanted to make that part, because I didn't want that to be left out and anyone to get offended. And I like how you described the name too, when you're talking about like, you know, these dualities and all these things. And maybe that can I can segue to my next question, which just talks about like the psychology of color. So in color, like, you know, there's the green conveys for example, like health. There is blue that conveys trust, and that's how brands really pick their colors.
And you guys went for like the Apple thing where you just had like, the grays and the blacks and the whites. And those are actually colors of balance. Was that was that intentional or?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. It was intentional, and I believe it's appropriate depending on what your brand is and what your company does and what you offer to select certain colors that are appropriate. We, like for us, like in this particular situation, like color, like there's personal preferences. So it can mean one thing to somebody else,
but it's about communication. You want to communicate something with color, and you guys went with that choice, and it definitely makes sense. I guess I was just wondering, like, it was intentional, and also like, what was the other colors you had in mind? That you were like, maybe we could have went like with the blues or whatever. So
that's exactly it. Like blue, we were going like we thought about it just because we really like blue, but we really wanted to create a clean, elevated brand.
Love it.
And simple. That's what we were going for.
Yeah, man. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, man. That's Da Vinci right there. So tell me a little bit. I know you talked about your brand values. I guess like what would be like your brand promise? Like when people get this box, like you know what I mean? What is it that they're gonna know for sure happened when they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we want to help people live sustainably in multiple aspects and make it as convenient as possible for them. That's it. That's what we do right there. We want to help people live sustainably in multiple different ways. That's what we go for.
And the convenience is really important because we're all so busy, right? So many people work corporate jobs or 9 to 5s or even longer hours than that, multiple.
Have families,
have all these other responsibilities where they simply don't have time to spend the hours researching what's an actual sustainable product or even shopping for it in the stores. Right now, it's not the first option, plastic is, and that's what's convenient. So it's saying, hey, we do sell our products individually, but if you just want a box every other month where you don't have to think about it, we provide you eco-friendly products to try out and live more sustainably. It's just about making it convenient for people, and we really down to the details with our branding. Actually, it is so simple because one of our first promises is it will always be eco-friendly first. So sometimes aesthetics will have to come second.
Okay.
So down to our tape, down to our ink, down to everything. It is all eco-friendly, no plastic, either biodegradable, compostable, or recyclable. Most of it though, we try to stay away from recyclable and fall into the other two categories more. So
yeah, and we really don't have an option with that either, because even like one single detail that one of our customers might see, for example, tape that's not biodegradable or eco-friendly, even that little detail takes away from what our brand promises with helping you live sustainably.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do this, we have to do it the right way, down to every single detail, and that's where Lacey is really, really good. She's very detail oriented, and at times it can like be frustrating because it's not the most convenient route and it's the path of most resistance.
Yeah.
And we're humans, and a lot of times we want to take the path of least resistance, but that's just what we have to do. There's zero options.
Yeah, I definitely see like a lot of heart and a lot of thought that went into all this stuff, and I kind of want to ask you just a fun question now. So
we love fun questions. Yeah.
So and like let's say you can like hire like a brand ambassador.
I'm very happy with my brother as a brand ambassador, and I'm not saying I'm very hard on him, so I'm not saying that just to be nice, but it's just the truth. I'm a very private person. I enjoy my privacy. I'm very quiet, more introverted. We're opposite as siblings. He is extrovert. He is out there. We would not have half the sales we do or be at half the markets we're at without my brother just going out there and doing that footwork. I'm at home doing all this research and making sure that we stick to our promise 100%, but he is the one who's really the face of the company and is out shaking hands with people and selling our products and telling everyone he can about it. So he's a great brand ambassador, but if you have anyone...
I'm so happy that you are recording this, and I'm going to get that piece, hopefully from you later, so that way I can save that for a long time, and not in a bad way, but we rarely share compliments,
Uh-huh.
and not because we don't actually think that we're, doing the right thing, but when she does give compliments, it's just so much more meaningful. So I'm definitely getting that.
That's so cool. And like for people that are watching this, like I came to meet with the MANAKIND, their apartment, and these guys are like living by the beach. So, these guys are just like literally on the beach, he's so chill, so relaxed. Like, what do you need? How may I help you? What do you do? And it's like your typical, just like guy that lives by the beach who's like relaxed and loves life and like wants to give back and wants to help other people. And it's amazing, and it's very inspiring because I feel like, it's not just like that like cliche thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of, it's like you can you're investing a lot of things in this business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, just like your time is like, it's a lot of time that goes into this stuff. So it's really cool. I totally get it. Yeah. You're a great brand ambassador.
Yeah,
That's
well,
awesome.
thank you for the kind words. That really means a lot. I just wanted to make a point that it wasn't always that way. Those are, I would say, skills that I had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So, like being kind, learning how to give back, learning how to be of service to other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you grew up with me, you would know that I wasn't always like that. So I just want people to know, especially your audience, that those are things that you can learn.
Yeah.
And you don't have to limit yourself just because you might think you're not born with those certain skills.
Yeah.
And the second point is I'm very grateful to be in this beach community because it allows me to really be in touch with the ocean, with nature. So that brings more validity to our brand because we live it, So
I appreciate you keep it real, and that's really the other thing too. It's not like being sustainable or like respecting the environment or like doing all these things. It's not just about like, I'm this like guy who's like, living this life, this hippy dippy like.
We wanted to take the stigma out of that.
I know, like this quote, like woke guy. This is not about that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like this guy is like I totally see you in the beach and it's like, I don't want to see trash on the beach.
No.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's that
like
simple.
I don't want to see plastic on the beach.
We don't want to see it. Yeah, it's disheartening anywhere you go.
I think if you ask anyone that question, no matter what their background is, you can tell me what you think, but I would say, and I don't say hippy dippy in a mean, degrading way.
Hippies are cool.
Yeah, hippies are cool.
I love
Peace,
hippies.
love, happiness, but that's not really our vibe, as you can pick up.
I'm somewhere in the middle. Even politically, to be honest. But
and that's another thing is this issue has been so politicized, and a lot of the big platforms are, really geared toward political stuff, and that's fine. Things need to happen there.
That has its place.
That has its place. It's just not the place we want to be.
Exactly.
We are just based in human-to-human interaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never want to politicize this issue ever because it's a consumer issue. And I think if you ask any person walking down the street, we live at one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And to think
I'm gonna shoot some footage around there. I'll show you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah, you have to. I feel so beyond blessed every day to wake up here, and then to think like our everyday choices of just what we're buying or what we're using. Like your dollar vote counts the most, and so to just buy plastic and like we said, it's not a judgment thing either. We started this because it was daunting once I realized how much I alone contributed to plastic.
Oh my God, I know.
Crisis and that we have. So it's just we just want to do it in a very non-judgmental way, non-politicized way, and just say, hey, step by step, little steps. We've done the research for you. We've done the work for you. Try it out, and if you're willing to switch, then great. But if it doesn't work for you, that's okay too, because we all just need to make small switches.
I love that. I love that.
We respect anyone who is willing to make progress. And the analogy I tend to use is when you're on your health and journey, and whether you want to gain weight, you want to lose weight, you just want to eat cleaner, that doesn't happen overnight. And it's similar with living sustainably with our eco-friendly products. You don't become fully sustainable overnight. So this is a progress. We take imperfect action.
Oh my god, I have so many questions. Like I wish we can sit down for hours and have like
Me
that.
too.
You know, but,
Yeah,
I want to
round
talk. I want to talk about the business aspects of things. I want to talk about like the environmental stuff, and it's like so much goes into it. But I'm gonna just go into these questions and just go through it. So, how did you guys register your brand name?
So even that was a process for us. And
was it easy?
No, it wasn't. So even like the most what might be simple parts of starting a business were challenging for us. So we ended up registering with Google domains.
Okay.
That's what we went with. We did a lot of research into.
Were you guys excited when it was available?
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yes.
And that was even a hiccup. Actually, you can cut this part out because I don't want to bash any company out there. But something to be aware of that is very real.
Mm-hmm.
Do not type the name you want into a domain register unless you're ready to buy it right there.
Because sometimes they can.
Because they will buy the name, they'll see the names that are searched, they'll buy those names and then resell them for a lot more money.
Yeah.
So we're MANAKIND.co because when I searched MANAKIND.com on GoDaddy.com, I was like, okay, cool, it's available. I'm gonna go do something else. I refreshed my page. I went back and they wanted like $5,500 for it.
Wow.
So that really upset me, and it's just like a kind of shady trick, I think. So a tip for people would to be, if you don't search it until you know you want to buy it, and then when you do, make sure you buy it right then if it's available. And so we decided to go with Google domains and do MANAKIND.co because that was not taken. But yeah, it was.
I like that .co. It looks more. I don't know, for some reason
I
it
do
works.
too. I actually like it more.
I like it more. I was like .com would have been like a whole different thing, but I feel like it's more
the
like
company. Yeah, I like it. I do too. So it worked out. But even that little hiccup,
That is a very practical tip right there for anyone getting ready to register their brand and their domain. It's just unfortunately the way that it works. It's wild.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, because I know a lot of people come up with their brands and like they love it, but sometimes like, oh, I just wish it was like something. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like your brand?
10.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
And
all
that
because I like it 10. I like make sure like, I don't like
No,
it more than the founders.
We spent years into creating it, and we spent that time, and a lot of people
what's been the feedback?
we wasted time on how much went into planning it, and maybe some people would say just jump, get it going, and then figure that stuff out. But we really took the time to figure that out first, even though it was setting us back. And so, right now it's a 10 for us because we know how many hours and months and years even went into every little detail. I mean, even the wave on our logo is supposed to be an N for MANAKIND. So it's just like little details like that we really, really just put so much thought into. And we also, another tip is recognize where your strengths are. Like I said, my background is science. I'm not a creative person really. I can envision things, but designing them is a whole nother skill set, right?
Yeah.
And so I would be on Canva for months making logos.
Canva's your friend, people. Remember
Canva
that.
is amazing.
Absolutely.
Canva's your friend.
Absolutely, 100%.
Camera 1, camera 2, it's your friend.
Canva. But no, I spent months, and I would send my brothers the logos and be like, okay, this is the MANAKIND logo, and they'd be like, all right, cool, set it as their
I still got the old logo on my laptop.
on their phone, and then a week later I'd be like, no, it's not a vision in my head, I hate it. And then thankfully, another weird universe situation, our neighbor, who's a graphic designer for St. Archer, moved in upstairs, and then she found out what we were doing, and I was like, oh, well, let me know, I can help you with your logo, just tell me what you're looking for. And I was able to describe it, and she was able to get it in person exactly how I wanted.
And that was like about 3 to 4 months earlier. We were mentioning that we were working on it ourselves. That's when we went to our graphic designer, who happened to be our neighbor, and she really just crushed
it perfect. I would still be trying to make logos on Canva right now, and MANAKIND would not be here because I'm a perfectionist. And I couldn't get that vision out of my head. I didn't have that skill set. So
she's amazing.
Having her do that, I'm so thankful.
What's her name?
Kim.
All right, shout out to Kim.
Kim Fox.
Thank you
for helping with the design of the brand.
Yes.
So let's say the phone rings, Shark Tank calls. I mean, they don't call, but the venture capitalists call, and they're like, they want to do some a little bit of rebranding. They want to tweak things. How open are you guys about?
Yeah, we're always open-minded to that.
Okay.
So we love our brand, right? That's what we were just saying. But we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so we stay open-minded. If that is something, like if we were working with one of the sharks and they're like, hey, if we tweak this, this, and this, I believe we could get this, this, and this. That, okay, I see what you're going for. This is a conversation. Let's have it.
Yeah.
Is it a strategic move or is it not? And if it is, and we do believe that it can benefit the movement, the company, other people, then yeah,
that's amazing. I'm really glad you said that, and the way you explained it too, it's really good, because you put like a lot of work into your brand and a lot of your design, but you gotta learn to always just have that mind open in whatever you do, even with like, because like your branding and your name and all that stuff is like your babies. Like this is so sacred.
Absolutely.
It becomes so sacred, but people, like, they need to know that, you know, this is also business and this is communication. This is a lot of things that goes into this. So people need to be like open-minded when opportunities present themselves.
100%. Yeah. It's if you're not willing to adapt, that's when you can get beat, and that's when you can see some shortcomings.
So do you have any tips for people? Tips and tricks. Tell them like what not to do.
Yeah. So we could talk about that all day. Yeah. So, I mean, just to be fully transparent and open, we're brand new to business and we're just getting started, and I believe we so far accomplished very little. So with that being said, I don't believe we have like the wherewithal, we have the place to give like the best advice to people. But where we're at right now in the process, what I would say to anyone, you know, looking to start a business is like, are you willing to keep going, to keep pursuing your dreams, your goals, your passion when it sucks? Like when there are aspects of creating your vision that you really, really do not like. That could be building a website, that could be creating the brand itself, it could be the email marketing. You could be an introvert, so going and introducing yourself to market managers and trying to get in the community and develop relationships. There's going to be something that is going to be the bane of your existence that you really do not want to do. So can you get through that even when it sucks? And can you maybe even learn to like the process when it sucks, because you know you're growing, your brand is growing, people are following along, and you're creating a movement with whatever you might have going on.
So does branding matters?
Absolutely. I think it's such a critical part of your journey, and I really don't know what you would have if you didn't have branding.
Yeah, I love that.
You know, so I believe a brand has many like jobs to serve, and one of them is it's supposed to represent you and your vision and what your company is about. So if you're not taking the time and effort to create the brand that you love, then I believe you're doing yourself a disservice, because your start is going to be harder than it already is to start a brand, to start a business.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and I think I said that before, but it's like, just because like me, I'm like, when I go buy a business and like there's like branding that is like bad, it's such a like a missed opportunity to connect with people. So you know, I know you guys like said you're scientists, I'm the branding guy. Like if the branding is not right, the whole thing
you see you have an eye for it, which is I believe why you stopped by our tent the first time, which is really cool. So I mean, that means a lot to us, knowing that someone with your background, our brand caught your eye. And so I think, you know, I give all the credit to my business partner. That is them. They crushed it. I know they don't take credit very well, and we had help with our graphic designer, but my business partner was like the final stamp of approval. So I mean, that means a lot.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we gotta do this again.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a round 2, so I'm excited for future conversations.
Thank you so much. Cut.